Thank you so much for tuning in for today's live session. I apologize. I got late with 10 minutes because I slept. Then my alarm rang. I didn't hear it, so I just woke up to find that I'm already 10 minutes late. Today we are going to talk about the difference between assets via liabilities, because I've had a lot of people asking me, Sheila, is buying a car an asset or a liability? And others will ask me, is buying a house or building a house an asset or a liability? So today we are going to tackle that, because it's a frequent question most people keep on asking. They ask me in my inbox, on my on the Financial Wellness Center page, and of course on other various platforms. To those that are joining in, welcome, and I'm really grateful for you taking your time to join this live session. I greatly appreciate you, and I hope that you are going to learn from this session, and of course you're going to invite more of your friends so that they can also get to understand the difference between an asset and a liability. I would also encourage you to invite more of your friends. I'll just give us like 2 minutes before we start so that we can get to have more people joining in, and of course us inviting more and more people so that we can get to benefit from today's topic. If you check on top of this live session, I have attached a link to our YouTube channel, so you may head over to our YouTube channel and acquire some money skills for free by watching the videos that have been uploaded there. I have also attached a link for our Instagram, so I would encourage you to head over to our Instagram account, hit the follow button, and definitely I shall be following you back right away. So once again, welcome so much. I can see Edith Wambui Beracha. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are just about to start today's live session. We shall be waiting for like 2 to 3 minutes so that more people can get notified and join us before we can begin the topic for tonight. So we are still giving ourselves 1 more minute, because I can see people are now just getting notified that we are going live. So we shall be waiting for some few more minutes, and I would also love to hear from you. What have you done? What are you doing currently? What are you getting engaged in this season where a lot of businesses have been changed? A lot of business models that we were used to have been changed, especially when it comes to groceries. We have seen a certain boom of car boot sale more than ever in this lifetime. Like this season, a lot of people are selling more from their cars as compared to other seasons. So definitely that tells you that the marketplace is changing, and of course there are various business models that we shall not be carrying them over to the next season we are going into, that is after the pandemic and the years to come. So you might find that if you are a person who owns a premise and you rent it out to business people to put their shops, you might find that people will no longer do that, because if I have a car and I want to sell my goods, I don't see the reason why I should rent a shop or an apartment, yet I can sell the same goods and products from the boot of my car. So this clearly tells you that there will be a shift in the business model, and a lot of people might be affected either positively or negatively, depending on how you view it or how you take it up. So especially for people who rent out shops, it's your time, or this is the season where you need to rethink and see how you can manage to stay in the business, because people have become creative. People are now utilizing what they have in order to get an income. A good example is how the car boot sale has boomed. A lot of people are selling from their car boots a lot of products. Anyway, that was not the topic for today. That is something we can discuss on when we are that is something we can discuss on in Entrepreneurs Academy. If you have not joined that group, I encourage you to head over and immediately join the Entrepreneurs Academy, as that is where I focus more on businesses, and I give more insights on businesses, and definitely there are other business people in that group that give their insights and they share their ideas, and we get to learn and see how we can go forward when it comes to the business world. So if you haven't joined Entrepreneurs Academy, ensure you join so that you can get to benefit. And of course, I'm planning to start to roll out some more maybe live sessions and more videos on various business models that we can embrace in such a season. So for today's topic, as I said, we are going to discuss on what the difference between an asset and a liability, and the two questions that I will be using in this case, or in this scenario, is buying a house an asset or a liability? Is buying a car an asset or a liability? Those are the two questions I will be using to illustrate what the differences between an asset and a liability. So we go in right away. To start off, what is an asset? So an asset is anything that you buy. It could be an item, it could be a service. It is anything that you buy that brings money back to your pocket. So for example, if I buy, let's say I buy something like a phone. Now, this phone, if I'm going to use it to do something that is going to bring more money to me, then the phone becomes an asset. So an asset is anything that brings money into your pocket. There's a definition I had written here before. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket through your basic investment and do not require you to keep spending to maintain it. So that is where the difference, that is where we come to differentiate what an asset is this last line that says, do not require you to keep spending to maintain the investment. Now, an asset is anything that puts money into my pocket and does not require me to keep spending to maintain the investment. So, we'll take an example of buying a house. Buying a house, it has two ways. You can view it in two ways. The first way is a house can be an asset and it can also be a liability. So a house will be an asset whereby you buy the house, then you rent it out, and then the people you rent that house to, they keep on paying you money for that house. So you have the house and you've rented it out to somebody, and this person is paying you money every month for that house. And while this person is in that house, they are the ones who will take care of electricity, will take care of water, and of course, as a landlord or a landlady, you may need to just do once in a while some repairs here and there, but it's not like every month you're doing repair. So you see, if you view a house in such a dimension or in such a perspective, then buying a house becomes an asset. So it becomes an asset when you are able to make it put money or bring money in your pocket. I hope we get it. Then when you see it in another perspective, is a house can be a liability. Buying a house can be a liability. How is it? I know most of people say, I bought my house, I'm no longer paying rent, I'm in my own home, which is a very good thing. It is a very good thing. However, it can become a liability if it becomes a liability when you have to keep on paying the electricity, you have to keep on paying the bills, you have to keep on maintaining the lawn, the fence, the grass, everything. You have to keep on maintaining it. So it becomes a liability because it's not bringing money to you. You are actually taking money out of you. So in this case, it is a liability because money is going out of you. You have to pay bills. And how are you paying the bills? The house is not bringing money, so you have to look for other ways you can make money to ensure that you have money to pay the bills, you have money to take care of the grass outside the compound, the whole housing setup. So if you see it in such a dimensional perspective, then a house becomes a liability. Now, do I advise people to buy houses? My answer is yes and no. This is because it depends. Why are you buying this house? Remember, if you're buying to rent it out, if you're buying to make it an Airbnb, it becomes an asset in that manner. But if you're buying to go and sit inside, then you'll have to keep on paying bills and all that. Then it becomes a liability. However, there are various ways you can change. There are various ways you can take care of your liabilities. For example, if I buy my house right now, I will ensure that I have other income sources that are bringing me money, or other assets that are bringing me more money, such that the money that comes from these assets is able to take care of the bills and any expense that is associated with the house. Caleb Onyango, you're saying you're watching from Dubai. I love your teachings. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate you taking your time to join the live session, and of course invite more of your friends who are in Dubai, and of course others who are in other regions of the world, because Financial Wellness Center is a global brand. It's not focused on a specific region. So as I was saying, an asset, I'll just repeat for those who are coming in, an asset is anything that brings money into your pocket, and is anything that brings money into your pocket and does not require you to keep spending to maintain the investment. And as I was saying, I said I'll use there are two questions I've just added on that on this live session above, that a house can be an asset and a house can be a liability. We've said buying a house, if you buy a house to rent it out to people and make it Airbnb, make it whatever, make it a hostel, make it anything, rent it out, it will bring you money. In such a case, you bought this house as an asset. But buying a house to go and stay inside, it becomes a liability, because you have to keep on paying the bills from your pocket. You have to keep on taking care of the compound. You have to, so it takes money out of you. And I said, I am not against people buying their own homes. I am actually an advocate of that. I advocate people to buy their own houses, but you are buying it with wisdom or knowledge. And the knowledge is, before you settle on buying a house, ensure you have other assets that are able to bring you money, such that this money that comes from other assets is able to cater for the expenses associated with the house you're staying in. So I'll give you an example. If I buy a house to stay in, I will ensure that I have other assets that are bringing me money. For example, if in this my house I need 50,000 every month to take care of all the bills, then I will ensure that I have an asset that is bringing me 80,000 or even 70,000 every month, such that the money I get from this asset is able to pay for the expenses I will be incurring in this house. So buying a house, it can be an asset and it can also be a liability. Now, I will just give us a small definition of what a liability is, so that we can go to the next question that I just posted. So a liability is something that requires you to keep spending all the time. They take money from your initial investment. Liabilities, they are good and they are bad. That is just another topic for another day, but have this in mind, that a liability is anything that requires you to keep spending. Now, back to our example of a house. You have a house, you've bought it, we've done housewarming party, we've come, we've celebrated. You have the house, but now it becomes a liability when maybe you spent 2 million to buy this house. So you spent 2 million to buy this house, but now every month you need to have at least 100,000 to maintain the house. So where is the money coming from? Remember, you already invested 2 million in the house, and you need every month 100,000 to maintain the house. So the house ends up becoming a liability to you, because you did not set foundations whereby you have other assets that are able to cater for this liability, this house that you bought to stay in. And this now tells you why you find, if you walk in certain estates, you find that there are very beautiful houses, but the owners are not able to maintain them. So the houses are becoming damaged by harsh weather conditions. The houses are becoming just damaged. And when you think about it, you can imagine maybe this person spent 2 million to set up this house structure. You see, so this is an investment. He or she put his money inside, but it has become a liability because he or she is not able. It has become a liability because the house keeps on requiring the person to give out money or to spend money to maintain it. And this person, unfortunately, did not have another source of income or other assets that were able to cater for the maintenance of this house. So this is to help you understand, buying a house is a very good thing. It's a big achievement actually, and I am always happy for that. But before you rush into investing, then making that investment become a liability, ensure you have other sources of income that will help you to maintain this asset that you bought. So that is the first one. Again, we might say also land can be an asset, and it can also be a liability. So depending on the perspective that you view it, you can buy land. Once you buy it, let's say you're buying it as a value investor. There's a video I did on what being a value investor and a growth investor is. So you buy land. As a value investor, you're waiting for the land price to go high so that you can resell it at a higher price. So this means this land, you might choose not to do anything on it, so you just buy and let it stay. That becomes an asset, but it is not really an asset that much. It becomes a worthy asset at the time of reselling. So the time you'll get a client who wants to buy it, maybe you bought the land at 100k and somebody wants to buy it at 500k. So at that time, we can't say this was an asset to you. So an asset to you. However, you can make land to be an asset to you by, you buy it, as you wait to resell it, you lease it out. So you're getting money from your land as you wait for the land prices to go high. So every month or every year you're getting some money because somebody is leasing that land to do farming or to do whatever they want to do with that piece of land. So an asset is anything that will bring money to you. We go to the second question, whereby a lot of you ask me, Sheila, is buying a car an asset or a liability? So today I'll answer this question here on this live platform, because it's a question that at least on a daily basis I get 3 or 4 of them. So I will answer it here. A car can be an asset and a car can be a liability. We'll start with the car being an asset. So for example, God has blessed you with money and like you've been able to buy a car. Let's say maybe the car is like how much? Let's say you bought the car at 1 million. That's just a simple model of a car. So this car, once you bought it for 1 million, you decide that this car, I'm going to use it as a tool to help me make more money. So I'll make it to be a taxi, or I will register it in Uber, or I will make it to be a car for events, or I'll make this car to be whatever. I'll make this car to be I'll use this car to do the car boot sales. I'll sell vegetables from the boot of my car. I will use this car to do this and this business. So, or I will hire out this car. So you do the car hire services from that car. So the car becomes an asset to you because once you use it as a tool to make money, the money will be coming to you, and then you will be spending maybe once in a month some money to ensure that it has been maintained and serviced properly. So in such a scenario, then the car is an asset to you because it is bringing money to your pocket. So a car can be an asset the time when you use it properly to bring an income to you. That in such a case, we view that car as an asset. On the other side, a car can become a liability if, for example, you take a loan to buy a car. Once you buy that car, you decide to use it for personal leisure. Maybe for your personal errands, like, you know, going to church, going to the market, going to work, you know, going to see your friends and, you know, traveling, you know, all that. But remember, you'll keep on repaying this loan that you took to buy the car. And the car that you bought, remember, it's depreciating in value and it's not bringing you money. So in such a scenario, we say that the car is a liability to you because again, as you have the car, you'll need to service it every month. You'll need to ensure that it is being maintained properly. You need to take it to a garage, you know, and all that servicing that is involved with the car. So in such a case, we'll say that this car is a liability to you because it's not generating income to you. If you bought it via a loan, you still keep on paying the loan. So in such a scenario, the car becomes a liability. And now this is where most people bring their emotions and say, but I'm getting the comfort, I'm getting, flexibility. I totally agree with you on that. You will get all that. But when it comes to finance, we look into income versus expenses. Yes, you're getting the comfort, but at the expense of something else. So it means you're getting the comfort from the car, but at the expense of maybe you have to work more hours to pay that debt. So anything that is not bringing you money, and you've invested a huge amount of money as the initial investment, then that is a liability to you. And that is why you find a lot of people, I think we've seen this, you meet a person and you find that they have a car, but they don't have any money, or they're sleeping hungry, and you're asking, why are you sleeping hungry? You have a car. The thing is, this person, they bought this car as a liability. They acquired it as a liability to them. They don't have other sources of income. And this tells you why you might find in certain estates there are a lot of cars disposed, like they're just there, nobody is using them, because the owners can't afford to maintain that car anymore. Maybe if they took it on a loan, the employment ended, or maybe wherever the other source of income did not come through, so they cannot maintain that car, so it becomes a liability. So what I just like to say, before we focus into giving out or investing our money to an item, ask yourself, is it going to bring me more money, or is it going to require me to spend more money to maintain it? Then if you answer that, then you'll have to know that is either an asset or a liability. As I said, an asset is something that brings money to your pocket and does not require you to keep on spending on it. On the other hand, a liability is something that keeps on, requiring you to spend on it, and it does not bring money to you. With that said, a house can be a house can be an asset, and also a house can be a liability. A car can be an asset, and also at the same time a car can be a liability, depending on how you use them. Remember, they are tools, just like money. Money is a tool. It can do you good or it can do you bad. With that said, maybe I can also touch on it. Also, we do have people who are assets and people who are we do have people who are assets and people who are liabilities. With the same ideology that I gave you, people who are assets, they bring good things to you, or you become beneficial to each other, because you help each other grow, or you help each other when it comes to business or anything. Like, they help you become a better you. On the other hand, there are people who are liabilities. They keep on withdrawing from you. They withdraw your energy, they withdraw your money, they withdraw every good thing you ever had. Maybe if you are a happy person, when you start associating with these people, they take away all your joy, they take away, they make you to keep on spending on them, but there is no income that is coming to you. So an asset is anything that brings something good to you, and a liability is anything that keeps on taking away from you from the initial investment. With that said, I think I will be ending this live session, because our time is now up. To those that have been watching me, I want to sincerely thank you, and I hope we have learned the difference between an asset and a liability. And from today, at least, if I'm buying a house, will I buy it as an asset, or will I be buying it as a liability? If I'm buying a car, is it going to be an asset to me, or it is going to be a liability? I believe with this live session, you've become smarter, and you're going to make more informed decisions as you become a better money manager of your finances. I'll just encourage each of you to please check out our YouTube channel. I have already shared the link above this this live session. I've shared the link there. Please visit our YouTube channel, ensure that you hit the subscribe button, and of course again I would also encourage you to head over to our Instagram account and head over to our Instagram account and ensure that you hit the follow button so that we can follow you right away. Until then, ensure you sanitize, ensure you wear a mask if you're going outside, ensure you maintain social distancing, and if you are at home, this is the time you can try your best to rest, sleep as much as possible, plan your finances as much as possible, and start thinking on what is that thing that you are good at that you can do, and start earning some income from it. So with that said, may God bless you and keep you safe wherever you are, and of course let's keep connecting. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on follow our Facebook page at Financial Wellness Center, and of course if you have any other question that you'd like me to answer, you can ask now because we are about to end. Hi Kamau, hi Paul Kamau. Thank you so much for tuning in. Although we are about to end, if you have we have been discussing on assets versus liability, and the few questions that I was answering is buying a house an asset or a liability, and is buying a car an asset or a liability. That is what we've been discussing on. So if you have any questions regarding assets or liabilities, please feel free to ask right now so that we can end the session. Tony Ouma, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you are doing well wherever you are. I would encourage you to keep on inviting your friends, and if you have any questions on assets versus liability, I'm very much available right now to answer any question regarding assets and liabilities. Also consider consider clicking the link that is attached to this live session so that you can land to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button, and of course consider following us on Instagram at Financial Wellness Center. I've also attached the link, and I'll be following you back right away. Hi Nicole, I hope you are doing well. You just came in when we are on our Q&A session. I hope you'll get to catch up. We are discussing on assets versus liabilities, and I hope if you have any questions regarding assets or liabilities, feel free to ask, and I'll be more than happy to answer. So I believe we don't have any questions as of now. To those that are just coming in, I'm so sorry. We are ending up today's live session, which is more on assets versus liabilities. So I have said that an asset is anything that brings money to your pocket, while a liability, an asset is anything that brings money to your pocket, aside from the initial investment, while a liability is anything that makes you to keep on spending on it aside from the initial investment. So if the initial investment was 1,000, an asset will keep on bringing more from that 1,000. Maybe every day it might be bringing you 500, like that. But a liability, if the initial investment was 1,000, you find yourself, you need to keep on spending maybe 1,200 every day, yet it's not bringing you any money it's not bringing any money to you. So that is a liability. And we have said, we have analyzed how a house can be a liability and an asset. And again, we have also analyzed how a car can be an asset or a liability, depending on how you utilize them. So I believe, for the interest of time, and of course due to other commitments that I may be having, I would like to bring this live session to an end. And thank you so much to all those that have joined in and stayed with us to watch and learn on the difference between an asset and a liability. I greatly appreciate your time and of course your continued support. I'd also encourage you to to click the link that is attached to this live session, and that will land you to our YouTube channel, whereby you will get to acquire money skills for free by hitting the subscribe button. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram at Financial Wellness Center, so that you can be connected and have updated real-time updates about money and investments. Until then, stay safe, and let's keep praying that everything is going to end as soon as possible. Thank you.